An update on the Sharon Viaduct. We have the latest on the construction dilemma.
And the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. You want to go with them? Well, we have some tips on how to watch out for travel scams.
And if you're not going all the way to Detroit, put on your dancing shoes and get in line with Luke and Stevie at a local dance hall.
Plus an up-close and personal look at the Westminster Lady Titans head basketball coach and an update on how the teams are doing in Titantown sports. We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now. New findings in the Grove City arson and murder case. Police have new evidence in the search for the killer. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Mike Walensky.
And I'm Elizabeth Farry. Earlier this month, a fire engulfed a house in Grove City. Police then discovered the beaten body of Brandy C. Dunn inside. Police immediately suspected the fire was arson. Now, published reports say police have taken a baseball bat, lighters, and a metal gas can as evidence. Police are still questioning the victim's husband, Scott Dunn, but have yet to name a suspect. State and local police are conducting a joint investigation.
Well, if you're looking for a trip to the Super Bowl, be on the lookout for offers that seem too good to be true, because they probably are. Pennsylvania Attorney General Tom Corbett warns consumers to be aware of potential scams involving travel packages or game day tickets. Offers that appear very cheap or very expensive are often a telltale sign of a scam. Corbett also says not to pay for tickets with cash. Instead, use a credit card to protect yourself against fraud.
While Groundhog's Day is still a week away, Punxsutawney residents are paying tribute to their furry weather forecaster. Groundhog enthusiasts are unveiling a statue of Phil tomorrow. The monument of the groundhog has him posing as a mail carrier covered in postage stamps. Postal workers who started the Punxsutawney Phil Fund raised money for the statue. Phil will stand guard right outside the post office, ready to greet all of those who come to celebrate Groundhog's Day next week.
About 70 years ago, the town of Sharon built the Oakland Avenue Viaduct, a huge concrete bridge crossing Route 62 and Pine Run. It lasted for years until city inspectors deemed the structure unsafe in 2001. The bridge was demolished with intentions to rebuild it. Now, 5 years later, there's still no bridge. The County Line's Chris Norris takes a look at how the locals deal with the unfinished project in their backyard.
This is the view that residents of Sharon have had for over 4 years now when they travel down the Shenango Valley Freeway. The viaduct has been under construction since 2001, and many are still awaiting its completion. Jeff Simmons knows what it's like without the viaduct.
It's really tough, getting over across the street. I mean, traffic in the morning is really terrible. Backs up over there, and it just made it a lot easier for everyone to get to work, to get to school, all that stuff.
The sound of screw guns and power generators have become a very familiar sound around the local neighborhood. After 4 years of on and off construction, residents have become tired of having their backyard as a construction site.
And we have a lot of kids that live
Local
right around
Adam
here.
Hagar, who has lived right next to the viaduct for 4 years, speaks out.
It's an eyesore. We got trailers in our yard. We got workers that take up all the parking spot up and down the street. The only good part about it actually is that we don't have any traffic on the street now.
Even young kids traveling to school every day are forced to take a detour.
Well, how I get to school is I have to walk all the way down Stanball and then go up to Rite Aid, make a right, and then go all the way down to the high school.
So what once was a convenience for those living in Sharon has now become an unfinished bridge over troubled water. Reporting for the County Line, I'm Chris Norris.
But there is good news. After years of that on and off construction and legal battles, the finished viaduct is finally in sight. So far, Sharon has spent $2.9 million on the project. The total cost of the project is expected to reach $3.5 million. Now, completion of the bridge is expected by June 1st.
The technique of hand forging metal is almost a completely lost art. It takes a lot of patience and skill. Most craftsmen have been replaced by machines, except in Grove City at the Wendell August Forge. There, blacksmiths employ century-old craftsmanship to create metal masterpieces. Tonight, the County Line takes a look at these local artisans.
One of our clients was J. Edgar Kaufman, owner of the Kaufman store chain. We did a gate for him, and in appreciation for us getting the business, we made a tray for him of his house. And that's basically the advent of how this business got started. What I do here is I'm in charge of cutting the dies. Once the die is made, it goes into production. When I graduated from college, I graduated at a time when there wasn't a lot of jobs there, and I had worked here during the summers, and my boss came up to me and says, "Why don't you come back here and work for a while?" And I said, "Fine, until you find a real job." I worked in the back for about a year, then this position opened up. I gave it a shot, and I've been here ever since.
It's like some pretty impressive things that they make there with the aluminum.
They are. They have some neat stuff going on.
And still to come after this, Luke and Stevie take their dancing shoes on the road.
And the Humane Society shows off some of their fluffy little friends. That's next on the County Line.
Can I help you, sir?
I found these over by the stairs.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator.
Every week we return all our cans and bottles. Yeah, we hope to reduce the world's waste.
But aluminum? It's like gold.
There's a can.
Where?
Get it.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi? Huh? What do you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
Well, it may be cold outside, but our on-the-road team found a way to turn up the heat. Join Luke and Stevie as they kick it up a notch at a local dancing hall.
And I'm Stevie.
And we're on the road.
I don't stand a chance.
This week on the road, we're at Newcastle's Paws and Taws.
And here, it's hip to be square.
In order to dance, the people need to be led. In other words, what they need to have is somebody telling them what moves we're going to do as we square dance. This is called modern Western square dancing. And modern Western square dancing requires a caller, and the caller tells you what you're going to do as far as the square is concerned with movements through the songs that we have. We'll have records on that they play. And we dance to music and they call the calls.
And the material that I use will be extemporaneous. They don't know what I'm going to call, but they know a whole lot of mainstream and plus calls. So I put them together, try to put them together smoothly so that they can dance them, and it's a challenge for them, yet it's not too difficult for them.
How long have you been dancing?
100 years. No.
About 18 years, I think.
About 18 years, something like that. He's legally blind.
Yeah, I have a macular degeneration.
Just the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I learned to dance, I could see, so
yeah.
it hasn't affected me any. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good.
And he knows the steps, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we're not quite dressed like everyone else.
And I'm not quite sure what he's saying, but we're going to give it a go.
Make a right-hand star, turn your star, a full turnaround. With your corner, no side of your corner, girl. See girl swing. Swing the lady round and promenade. Shine on, harvest moon. Parade and bang out. Everybody feel. Everybody have fun.
The dancers had to train for almost a year to learn the dances.
And they dance here at Newcastle Votech, and in the summertime, they dance at Cascade Park.
Well, that's it for this week's On the Road.
We'll see you next time.
My goodness, those dance moves did not look very easy.
No, I'm sure they're not, especially when you don't know what the guy's going to call next.
Exactly.
You just gotta go with
Kind
it.
of throws you for a loop there. Looks like
I
fun,
gotta
though.
give Luke and Stevie credit. They did a nice job
Me
with
too.
that. They look like stars out there.
They did.
All right, well, each year, hundreds of animals find themselves homeless because of neglectful owners. Fortunately, the Humane Society does have a place for them, but they can't stay there forever. The County Line's Heather Storm visits these loving animals.
About 1,500 animals are brought here to the Lawrence County Humane Society each year, 60% of which end up finding loving homes. I spoke with the president of the Lawrence County Humane Society, Cindy Medica, who explained to us more about the Humane Society organization.
Usually the majority of them are cats or dogs. However, we do get all kinds. We've had hamsters, gerbils, guinea pigs, a lot of ferrets through the years, and also some snakes. The shelter's on the internet now. Has opened many new horizons.
But I saw her on the internet, and she was just looked so cute. So I had to come in and meet her.
People interested in adopting cannot take their new pet home right away. They must fill out an application and wait at least 24 hours while references are checked to make sure that new owners will provide a loving home. The Rubin family is hoping to bring a new dog home soon.
We heard that pets for the Humane Society, I know you get a special connection with them. Somehow they know that you're rescuing them from something. And we heard they make good pets, so we're going to go home and talk to Dad.
If everyone were a responsible pet owner, we wouldn't be standing here today, and we wouldn't have received the number of animals that now we must deal with, and some of the cases in a very heartbreaking way. But the majority of them will have a happy ending, and that gives us a great feeling to watch an animal go out to.
To find out more about adopting a pet or even to send a donation, call 724-654-8520 or go to www.petfinder.com. From the Lawrence County Humane Society for the County Line, I'm Heather Storm.
Oh, so cute.
They are.
I love those. Mike, do you have a puppy?
You know, I never did have a dog until this Christmas. My mom just got one for Christmas, so
really?
my family has a dog now.
That's fun. I'm jealous.
Yeah, so this cute little fur ball just runs around.
Oh, that's fun.
It is
very
fun.
cute.
Yep.
Well, you know, we actually have more puppies coming up for you tonight. Elena Schuring sat down with some Humane Society workers to find out a little bit more about pet adoption.
All right.
Hello and welcome to this week's County Close-Up. As we all know, Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast when it hit a couple months ago. With me tonight are Sue Varner and Jackie Carson. They helped save more than 100 that were affected by the hurricane, but they weren't people that they rescued. Welcome, guys. Do you want to introduce us to your friends and tell us a little bit about your story?
This is Pete. Pete was a rescue. I believe that Pete is a Chihuahua Rat Terrier mix, and Pete came to us with a couple issues that we're working on. So he was one of the special ones that we brought back, and actually he's living with me, so I enjoy him.
And this is Hopi. He was rescued in New Orleans, and he has a few health issues going on with him, which a lot of the animals down there do. But we're getting him taken care of, getting all the medical care that they need, and he's coming along pretty well.
Now, you guys actually went down to New Orleans and rescued the animals. Can you just explain what made you go down there and what you found when you went down there?
Well, I think that Jackie and I both, after seeing what was happening on TV and watching the animals, and there were so many people that there was no plan for them. There was no plan for the animals whatsoever, and it broke our hearts, and we just said, hey, we have to go. We need to go down and help bring some home and give them homes and try to help as much as we can.
How many animals overall did you help rescue and bring back here?
It was 105 cats and dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what kind of condition were the animals like, and how are they now?
The shelters were very overcrowded. There were several dogs in one cage. They just couldn't accommodate that many, the volume of animals that were misplaced because owners couldn't take them. So when we did see that, we saw several dogs, very nice dogs, you know, dogs that needed to be brought home or taken out of that environment.
And they all make great pets, correct?
So far, we've had some really great stories, people that have taken dogs. Obviously, we don't know the history on all of them because of the situation, but we do know that a lot of them were completely house-trained, great companion dogs. You can obviously tell that they've been with the family.
How many have been adopted out, or how many do you have left?
We have probably around 10 left that need to find permanent homes or semi-permanent homes. They are posted on Pet Finder so that if the owners are looking for them, then they at least have a chance to find them. And if not, then the people that are fostering them right now will keep them long-term for the rest of their lives to adopt them.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here and sharing your amazing story. If you would like to adopt a pet, you can contact Jackie or Sue at the numbers listed, or else you can also log on to www.petfinder.com and search under the Butler County Humane Society's postings. We will be back with more County Line after this.
What is he looking at? Oh, dude, so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Open your window, say something.
Oh, he's really gonna down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Thank you. Honey, finish up. Come on, we gotta go. Ew. What's wrong?
Something's on my glass.
Let me see. Oh, it's lipstick. Excuse me, ma'am. Could we just have a new glass, please? This one's dirty. Thank you.
Mom.
Honey, I don't want you to get sick. I don't know what's on that glass.
Oh, have me one too.
You want a sopapilla?
Yeah.
There you go. There's some honey right here, too.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
Hello and welcome back to a new year of Titantown Sports. I'm Justin Egley, and a lot of things have been changed since our last show. The Steelers made it to the Super Bowl, which is why I have my little playoff beer going on tonight. Won't leave until the Steelers win it. The basketball teams have started Pac play, and the Pac is on its way to becoming one of the elite NCAA Division III athletic conferences in the country. How, you may ask? Well, here's how. The Pac will now have a new conference office located in Wexford, PA. At the end of this school year, that will take place, and they'll have, for the first time in the 50-year history, a full-time executive director. Well, if you've ever seen this man on the sidelines of any sport here at Westminster, you won't after the school year. Joe Underka will be leaving Westminster College to be the full-time executive director of the Pac, effective July 1st, 2006. Underka has worked full-time for the past 11 years here as Sports Information Director at Westminster, and is in his 5th year serving as PAC Information Director on a part-time basis. Underka will report directly to the PAC President's Council. Now, you'll need to tune in next week to see the interview we have with Joe and find out more about the big step for the PAC. Now, one person you will see on the sidelines of Westminster women's basketball team for years to come is head coach Roseanne Scott. Coach Scott is now in her 4th year as head coach and has done wonders with the women's basketball program. In 2003-2004 season, she led the team to their first ever postseason playoff berth. And then just last year, she led the Lady Titans to the best record in the history of the program and to win the team's first ever PAC championship. She's accomplished so much in so little time, but we're going to take a closer look now on Coach Scott.
Well, Coach Scott is a very interesting person. She's a very passionate coach. Her passion, her love for the game is obvious. I mean, she's up and down the floor. Every time someone gets a steal, she's running along with them.
When we hit threes, she's jumping up in the air, sometimes falling, but she's always going nuts, and she's the first person to high-five you. Well, Coach Scott likes to get really into the moment, and so whenever she gets into the moment, sometimes her voice will start squeaking really high. So she'll be intense, and then she'll be like, "Get to the ball," and then go crazy. So and then nobody can take her seriously. So her point is completely shot. So that's pretty funny.
Best memory as a coach is obviously a toss-up with getting water thrown on you at W&J after winning the championship and cutting down the nets. But as a player, that was one thing that I accomplished. And one thing as a player I didn't accomplish was winning an NCAA tournament game. We always made it and we fell short. So that was my goal. And then playing Dickinson at Dickinson, not even expecting to be there, not expecting to win, and upsetting them on their home floor was just an amazing feeling. Watching those girls and their faces, and Fee picking me up after the game and running with me, and just that whole feeling afterwards of actually accomplishing one of your goals and having those girls go through that. So happy for them to see their faces, and that was probably my best memory so far here.
I came here to play because when I came as a recruit to come watch her coach and watch the team play, she actually was sweating just as much as the players and had more energy and more fist pumping than anyone else on the court. So that's why I chose to come here, because of her attitude and energy.
I can't sit still. And that's one thing I think that I feel that the girls respond to better than if I would just sit there. So I'm very emotional. Very emotional coach.
Well, Coach Scott was definitely running up and down the court last night as the Lady Titans traveled to PAC opponent Waynesburg College. The Yellow Jackets gained a 17-point lead against the Lady Titans with 12 minutes left to play. The Lady Titans made a great comeback and had a chance to tie the game and send it in overtime, but the final shot fell short for the Lady Titans. It was a little bit off the mark as they lost 62-59. Lady Titans are now 4-15 overall, 1-5 in the PAC, and Emily Ackerman was the high scorer for the Lady Titans with 17 points and 4 steals. Now for the men team also traveled to Waynesburg and gave up a big first-half lead that the Titans could just not make up. With just under 9 minutes remaining in the first half, the Yellow Jackets outscored the Titans 36-11 to build a 29-point halftime lead. In the second half, the Titans went toe-to-toe with the Yellow Jackets but could not make up the first half as they lost by 30 points. Final score 117-87. Senior Mark DeMonico came off the bench to score a team-high 23 points with 4 assists. Both the men's and the women's basketball team will return to court this Saturday at Bethany College. Women start 2, the men will follow at 4. Now, the Titans had better luck against new PAC foe Thomas More this week, as there was a lot of high-flying action and even enough to get a personal foul. But what better way to show it to you than in this week's Best Eggs of the Week. And my best eggs are back. Semester. We're going to start off with all basketball at number 6. Goes to Desiree Sterling of the Westminster Lady Titans. She tied her career scoring high with also a game high with 26 points against Thomas More on January 21st. She was 3 from 3 from the foul line, 26 total points, 3 steals, and 10 for 20 overall. Now at number 5, it's going to go to Brian Urso. Brian was 7 for 9 from the field. 2 for 3 three-pointers, 7 for 8 on the free throw line with 23 total points. Now for number 4, this will go to the whole Westminster Titan team, men's college team, because look at this, school record, single game, 134 points against Thomas More. Last one was 135 against Allegheny. Now number 3 goes to Mark DeMonico, the small man with the 22 on his shirt, and he's shown that he can get it done. He was 7 for 8 from the field, 5 for 6 from the three-point line, and there's one of them right there, 29 total points. Now to number 2. This is E.J. Haynes, and he's showing you how he can get it done. And this one, this might be a personal foul, but showing he can dunk and maybe a little too showing off there, but nonetheless. And number 1, this one, you're going to have to see it twice. That's E.J. Haynes again, and a little alley-oop. And let's see this in a little slow motion. Look at that one, beautiful from behind the back there. And that will be my number 1 best egg of the week. And one last thing before we wrap up this week's Titantown Sports, local high school basketball will return to the Westminster Cable Network tomorrow, that's Friday, January 27th, as Union High School will host Wickley Academy. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. But that will wrap up this week's edition of Titantown Sports Now. Make sure you tune in next week, though, as we have an interview with newly appointed PAC Executive Director Joe Onderko. We'll have local high school basketball highlights, along with Titan basketball highlights. And sports reporter DJ Yoakley will return to the set with a new sports segment called Athlete's Angle. Well, that will be it for that'll be all for next week, but that's all for this week. I'm Justin Nagley. Thanks for tuning in. Don't touch a dial, as more County Lines on the way.
What is that thing?
Looks like somebody's double chin. Must have lost it snacking on fruits and vegetables.
Somebody's gonna trip on that.
What is that? It looks like someone's belly. Yeah, probably lost it walking on the beach.
Everyone remembers the day they took their training wheels off their bike and rode on a two-wheeler for the very first time. Well, these guys are a long way from training wheels. In fact, they have trouble keeping the two wheels that they do have on the ground. Photojournalist Garrett Horvath proves that some people really can defy gravity.
My friend told me, and I heard about it, and then I saw a flyer up at Frankfurt Bikes. They had a flyer, Section 8 flyer, grand opening, and then it just went off from there. I'm from Mercer, PA. I've been riding for 6.5 years now, almost 7. Compete just contests that are all over the U.S., and I go on tour every year.